What is going on, everybody? Welcome to part 5 of my What If Spider-Man Replaced Batman series. Today we're going into the third year of Peter's career as Spider-Man. Now, if you've been attentive enough, you would realize that I've changed around a couple things with this series. So the titles aren't as complicated as before, we're just doing parts. But we're still doing year by year story arcs for Spider-Man. And so 1 year now might span multiple parts. And so I hope that's a bit clearer to why thumbnails and titles of these videos have changed. And another thing, I was meant to upload a different what if video today, but that video is kind of taking longer than expected, and it's literally been like 4 or 5 videos since the last part. So I decided, since the demand is high enough, I'll just work on this part instead and leave that for later. If you guys are interested in that video, it's not a new series, it's just a what if video by itself, and it won't continue into a series like that. This is going to be my main series, and if we can hit 50 likes, then hopefully the next video after this will be that what if video. Now I've been keeping you guys waiting long enough, let's get into year 3. Also like and subscribe. So the months following Scarecrow's arrest were more or less quiet for Peter. Much of Crane's lab was to be discreetly disposed of, but luckily for Peter, he managed to salvage much of what he needed from it. Having Dick Grayson around actually opened up more time, and to help his aunt around the house, Peter decided to pick up a job with the Gotham Gazette. He spent the last of his wrestler funds purchasing a camera, and because he is Spider-Man, he's able to take the highest quality pictures of, well, himself. These photos impressed the Gotham Gazette so much they are quick to offer him a job, and for Peter, it's an easy gig. The hardest part of the job is that he is now at direct odds with possibly Spider-Man's greatest rival, Jack Ryder, an antagonistic and outspoken reporter whose presence is overwhelmingly unbearable for Peter, but nevertheless he carries on. Gotta get paid somehow. Peter also turns 18, and this follows as his last year of high school, but thanks to his occupation as Spider-Man, he really hasn't given his future after school any thought. Dick Grayson will turn 14 at the end of year 2. He enrolled in Gotham High thanks to Aunt May's efforts. He doesn't enjoy much of school, but excels in physical education, or gym class as you Americans call it. In his spare time, he enjoys knitting and other various menial tasks that Aunt May passes on to him. They have come to form a good bond, and Dick Grayson becomes more like his comic book counterpart. Spider-Man's new sidekick, the Scarlet Spider, has made a splash in the Gotham news. Many of the public venerate the young hero, while the other, more senior members of the public sincerely hate his attitude, much like Jack Ryder, who has sworn that Spider-Man is indoctrinating children into his life of crime. For some odd reason, the news makes reference to multiple sidekicks, a statement to which Peter is completely baffled. If you can't tell already, Jack Ryder is this universe's J. Jonah Jameson. Anyway, at school, Barbara has been acting slightly odd. She started turning up late to classes, excusing herself at weird intervals, behavior that reminds Peter of himself. On one night out, the dynamic duo encounter another vigilante, outfitted in a dark crimson costume, with Peter's spider insignia firmly planted on the chest. The costume's fingertips are white, and the mask completely covers the face. A webbed cape falls along the back, and the vigilante carries a utility belt around their waist. Last of all, wild red hair escapes the top of their mask. Much like Dick's in that fashion, the vigilante spots Spider-Man and quickly attempts to escape, but Spider-Man gives pursuit, webbing their hand to a wall so they couldn't run. That's so unfair. How do you even make this stuff? I've really got to start copywriting. And who are you meant to be? Spider-Woman? I guess it's nice to meet you at last. Spider-Woman? Really? That's the best you could come up with? I mean, it's pretty creative, Dick calls out. No. This has to stop now. I drew the line at him. Pack your things up. You're not risking your life like this anymore. Peter prepares to unmask Spider-Woman, but she grabs him with her free hand. Hey, who gave you the right to dictate others' lives like this? I wanted to say I was inspired by you, but you're really a jerk. He is, isn't he? It's like he's jealous of other heroes in Gotham. Dick chuckles. What? I am not. I'm only looking out for you both. This work is dangerous. I'm lucky that I have powers. I've been doing well by myself so far. Fine, throw your lives away. This is what I get for trying to warn you. As they swing away, Dick remarks, "You were pretty mean to her." Apart from that, life seemed to continue as normal, but with Parker's luck, the next psychotic supercriminal was bound to rear its head at any moment. When a former actor was shunned out of a role, Basil Carlo sought to murder the cast and crew out of spite. However, in an unfortunate accident, he was transformed into a monstrous being of clay-like flesh. Spider-Man and the Scarlet Spider were able to track down Carlo before he could harm the movie crew. However, they were both in for the fight of their lives. Spider-Man has no tactical advantages over Clayface. His webs go straight through him and he can't punch his way out of this. Similarly, the Scarlet Spider has no use in the fight. Dick is ashamed at his inability to assist Spider-Man, as he's forced to watch as Spider-Man takes on Clayface by himself. The fight does not go well for him, with Clayface gaining a severe upper hand, trying to force Peter's mask up so he can suffocate him with clay. At the last moment, as Peter desperately struggles for air, a grapple hook falls into Carlo's form. As it connects, electricity runs along the wire, effectively stunning Carlo and forcing him to retreat from the scene. I bet you're glad that I was around now, huh? Spider-Woman swings down to help Peter up. Yeah, I guess I was a little wrong. Hey, no hard feelings. Let's get this guy. Peter realizes that his webs can conduct electricity. If he can create a gadget that could produce enough volts of electricity, he can make some sort of taser web that would be extremely effective against Clayface. And that's exactly what he does, producing taser webs for both him and Dick. He doesn't entirely trust Spider-Woman to give her web shooters. Besides, she already makes use of a grapple hook that she got from somewhere. Together, they descend upon Clayface once again, using their new electrical gadget to subdue Carlo. The GCPD arrive and are able to take Carlo to Arkham Asylum. Ever since Killer Croc, they've been strengthening their cells, and so that's the only place that will be able to hold him. Another villain that they encounter is Dr. Pamela Isley, or as she's dubbed herself, Poison Ivy, a student of botanical biochemistry turned into a plant. Because I swear that's actually what she is or something. She announces herself at a big event held by LexCorp, threatening Gotham with a massive retaliation if they do not meet her demands. When LexCorp security attempts to seize her, she releases her spores which cause the guards to choke and pass out around her, showcasing her power with immense force. It doesn't take long for the dynamic duo to arrive on the scene. However, Poison Ivy one-ups the heroes by using her vines and their pheromones to halt Spider-Man in his tracks. She slowly brings Peter under her control, him being completely useless against her hypnosis. In the comics, Poison Ivy is capable of bending even Superman to her will. Gotham is stunned to see its hero turned against the city by this villainess. As Spider-Man stands proudly next to his new master, Dick is forced to fight against Spider-Man, but is quickly rendered useless. Ivy commands Peter to toss him aside, and they leave together. Dick, in a state of panic, rushes over to the GCPD, the building almost being completely emptied except for a few. A familiar man meets him next to the spider signal, Detective John Jones. He hastily relays to him the situation. I don't know what to do. Spider-Man is being mind controlled. He doubles over in pain, his adrenaline finally wearing off, and he notices the beating that he had taken. John looks seemingly distant, staring off into who knows where. Dick, in a state of distress, feels helpless. "I know what I must do," John says ominously. His form shifts with a green glimmer, and Dick is completely shocked to see what stands before him. Tall and green, he was in the form of a human, yet he was not quite human at all. John's face was now sharper and longer. His eyes were hollow and filled with red. Even stranger, his chest was marked by a large red X. "Be not afraid." What? "I am a Manhunter from Mars. I did not wish to reveal my form in this manner, yet I see it now necessary." He opens his hand. "Come, we shall rescue his mind together." Dick reluctantly takes his hand and the Martian Manhunter takes off into the sky. Dick can't believe it, he's flying through the air. I guess this really makes him a flying Grayson. Okay, fine. Is able to locate Poison Ivy. What is that? Ugh, go handle this for me. Peter, as instructed, leaps at Martian Manhunter, who holds both of his arms apart with his impressive strength. Dick watches on as the Manhunter's eyes seemingly shimmer. Inside Peter's mind, navigates through a mess of plants and vines. He finds Peter strung up, bound and unconscious. He taps his forehead with a finger and Spider-Man wakes up. What the heck? Producing beams of heat from his eyes, he severs the plants that bound Spider-Man. When Peter is freed, the plants retract and retreat into the dark depths of his mind. You knew me as Detective John Jones. He shifts into his human form, but my true nature is John Jones of Mars. I came to this planet escaping a tragedy of my own, and with a warning. I will explain, but for now let us deal with Dr. Pamela Isley. To Dick Grayson, no time had passed at all as Spider-Man suddenly woke from his confines. Brainwashing. That's new. I didn't say you could be free of my control just yet. She extends her fingers as a trail of pheromones sprinkle the air. However, Martian Manhunter is quicker and shuts down Poison Ivy's mind as she collapses onto the floor. Whoa, did you just kill her? Spider-Man warily holds a stance against Martian Manhunter. No, I rendered her unconscious. I will call others to pick her up, but we must continue our conversation, Spider-Man. The fate of the Earth depends on it. They recoup elsewhere, overlooking the city on a rooftop. As I had told you before, I am John Jones of Mars, the last of Mars. His voice falters, a hint of sadness Peter could hear in an otherwise monotone voice. My home was destroyed as part of a senseless conflict brought on by my own people, hatred for their own kind. But that was not all that had doomed us. A mothership descended on the capital one day, a conqueror many had assumed. He pauses, seemingly navigating through a wave of emotions. Even then, my people did not unite, still fixated on their differences. We were captured by this strange visitor, not for enslavement but for purposes completely unique to us. You see, this alien was not of life like you and I. It revealed itself as a great intelligence beyond our comprehension. To it, we were animals in a cage to study and ponder. But the Martians did not comply with its experiment, and instead the infighting continued. This brainiac angered. It saw itself as our judge, exterminating us without hesitation as if we were unfit for life. Listening on, both Peter and Dick are speechless, both incapable of ever imagining Jean's suffering. Since Mars was deemed a failure, I'm sorry, but the threat of Brainiac now falls onto our neighbor, Earth. I escaped to this unknown frontier. The landing had almost killed me. More so, I was sensitive to the vile and toxic minds of this city. I found myself helpless, again watching as another planet drove itself to its own doom. That's when I found you, Spider-Man. Your mind was unique, like a beacon in the dark. It was not without its faults, but I found myself drawn to you. I decided you would be the one to carry my warning. So I ask you, Protector of Gotham, will you help me save Earth? Peter takes a deep breath. It's a big responsibility, but I've been figuring out for a while that it's sort of my thing. Sure, that's good. I will follow your lead. Oh, now? Well, first we'll need to clean up the city. And so, together with the Manhunter, they round up the last of Gotham's evildoers. Thanks to Jean, it goes quite quickly. However, Spider-Man realizes that Gotham will be left unguarded. He needs to leave the city in capable hands. Atop a rooftop, he finds the person he was looking for. "Don't tell me you changed your mind again," Spider-Woman shouts. No, you're good. Great even. Listen, I'm leaving town, and I need to know that Gotham will be safe. You mean you're trusting me?" she says, a little alarmed. "Yeah, I do. My partner will join you. Keep him out of trouble, will you?" "Yeah, I'll try. But you have to promise me, no fighting any supervillains. If anyone tries to destroy the city, you call me." Spider-Man and Martian Manhunter embark. However, Peter quickly realizes that John has no idea what he's doing. He tells Peter that they need to assemble Earth's forces to fight against Brainiac. And this gives Peter an idea. They need to fight a mysterious alien threat. Therefore, they should enlist the help of the world's most famous alien. The first stop? Metropolis. So what's the deal with Manhunter anyways? It was my job on Mars. It was very similar to what you would call a police officer. Yeah, but Manhunter? Do you hunt man? Do you think we speak English on Mars? It's a translation. Oh, right. My bad. They land in Metropolis with its gleaming sunny skies, a stark contrast to the scenes in Gotham that Peter is used to. In fact, he's sure that he's never been here. As soon as they step foot in the city, a blur whizzes past and a shadow is cast over them. Above, they can see a large man, adorned in a blue costume and wearing red underpants on the outside. Spider-Man. "I'm pleased to finally get to meet you. I've heard a lot about your efforts in Gotham." Peter looks up slowly. The man has a familiar red S emblazoned on his chest. "No way. Is this who you told me about?" The friendly man smiles and lowers himself to their level. "That I am. What brings you two to Metropolis?" Well, it's nice to meet you too." They both cast odd looks at Peter. "Alright, well, we need your help, Superman." "Really? How can I help?" And that is going to have to be it for this part. I'm sorry to end you guys on kind of a cliffhanger, but you know, I just had to do it. I hope you guys did enjoy this part. If you did, please like and subscribe, and also let me know what you thought in the comments down below. I've been your boy Polar, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.